Back to another video. I hope everybody watching this is having a great time. I hope the time you're having is as good as the time I was having when I was watching UFC 330 and they released the UFC 333 card. I was watching UFC 330 alone on my couch, and I live alone, so I don't really talk to anyone whenever I'm home alone, obviously, which is a lot of time out of the day. When they announced UFC 33 and showed the card, it was the first time I talked out into the world. I just started talking into space, in the air. I was so hyped, I texted my friends immediately. And I was like shocked. I was so shocked, I had to let my inner voice out and use my vocal cords. That being said, in this video, I'm going to go over my UFC 333 picks. Now, the fabrics of this card are pretty much laid out at this point. I think there's a few more fights that they need to add in order to get to the minimum or the maximum. And UFC 331 is also very good, so I'll be making a video on that pretty soon. But first, I wanted to talk about this card. And what I love most about this card is that it's the late October card in Abu Dhabi, and Dana White and the UFC make these cards insane. And the best thing about it for me personally is that it's right near my birthday. So usually the weekend that I'm celebrating my birthday is the late October Abu Dhabi card. So it's going to be a very fun weekend for me. I cannot wait. This shit's going to be awesome. Okay, for some reason, this stupid website, I can only expand a few of them, so we're just going to have to go with the little rectangles right here. So that being said, let's start off with the middleweight bout here, Abus Magomedov versus Cam Rouston. I'm going to be honest, Rouston has some good wins. He's climbing up. I'm going to go with Rouston here, just to keep this short and sweet. Now, I don't know if this is the actual order, by the way. If it is, that's kind of disgusting. Very disrespectful to my boy Volkov here. Alexander Volkov versus Rizvan Kuniev. I'm going to go with Volkov. Kuniev had a good win in his last fight, but he hasn't beaten or possibly even fought anyone with the skill and someone as good as Alexander Volkov. Volkov's underrated, and you know, he's fought the best and has even beaten some of the best. He just beat Waldo earlier this year. He's beaten Pavlovich. I don't think he's going to have an issue with Kuniev. I think he's going to cook him. His IQ's too high. His skill's too good. He even beat Cyril Gane. He just got robbed. So I'm going to go with Volkov for this one. Krylov versus Yakayev. You know, I was very shocked when I was sitting on my couch and I read Nikita Krylov on my screen because I thought his jaw got broken. But I don't know if that means it didn't get broken or it did get broken and he somehow healed within the last few months. But that being said, I'm going to go with Yakayev. I think he's the younger guy, but either way, just the more exciting guy. Krylov's been around for a while, number 15 ranked. I think this new wave of light heavyweight, this new prospect, is going to beat him. And I didn't really see anything from his last fight against Whitaker that would make me think that, you know, he can beat Yakayev. Not trying to say that Yakayev is on the scale of Robert Whitaker. Of course, I'm not saying, but I got Yakayev for this fight. Okay, now I can expand it. Awesome. This is a crazy fight. Loner Kavanagh versus Ramazan Temirov. This is dangerous. But I'm going to go with Kavanagh. But I think the way Kavanagh wins this fight is if he survives the early onslaught from Temirov, because Temirov likes to come out and, you know, just throw haymakers and everything like that. But I think if he can survive, I want to say like a little more than halfway through round one, and by the end of round one, if Loner's able to get his range and able to get his flow into the fight at his pace, I don't think anyone can beat him on the feet except Joshua Van probably, if Loner's able to do that. And I think he will be able to do it. It's going to be tough because if he gets chinned, yeah, that's bad news. It's going to be over. But as long as Loner's able to find his range, find his flow, fight at his pace, and establish it by the end of the first round, I can see in a 3-round fight Loner cooking him after a few rounds. That being said, I'm going to go with Loner Kavanaugh as long as he survives that early onslaught from Temirov. Azamat Mirzakhanov. Jeez, I can't talk. Azamat Mirzakhanov versus Dominic Reyes. This is a very funny fight, in my opinion, because I was at UFC 327, I think it was, in Miami. And I would say these two guys probably got embarrassed the hardest. And they got embarrassed for two completely different reasons. Dominic Reyes fought Johnny Walker. And I've never been at any sporting event ever, any sport, that the crowd was that angry and that restless. And I've been to multiple college football games, NFL games, soccer games where, referee makes a bad call. We're ready to get that referee. Like we're about to storm the field. But the people in the crowd at UFC 327 watching Dominic Reyes fight Johnny Walker, I've never seen and never felt so much anger in the crowd. Me too. Paid a lot of money to go see some bullshit like that. And it's crazy because Dominic Reyes beat Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker just left to go backstage after. He had to answer for his crimes against humanity after that Johnny Walker fight. He won the fight, and he had to answer to the crowd. Johnny Walker didn't have to do anything. So that was embarrassing. Now, Mirzakhanov, the reason why I also say it's embarrassing, because he had one of the most embarrassing losses. He probably had the most embarrassing loss in the entire card because he had a good first round, kind of got BTA in the second round, and then in the third round, Paulo Costa just comes out, head kicks him once, and the guy just falls over like a tree getting cut down. Like, it was embarrassing, and he got clowned hard. He got clowned hard on social media. Everybody in the stadium was so happy, or the arena was so happy when Costa got that KO. And man, just the two most embarrassed fighters at 327. That being said, though, I still rate Azamat Mirzakhanov, and I think he's going to win. I didn't see anything from Dominic Reyes' last fight that made me think, oh, yeah, like he beat Johnny Walker. This guy got a good bounce back win. It was a terrible bounce back win. It was awful. I wish both them. I wish Dominic Reyes was 16-6, and Johnny Walker, you're not out of this either. You deserve your loss too, because it was 50-50, horrid. But that being said, Mirzakhanov, he beat Alexander Rakic, and I thought he was going to beat Paulo Costa. And one of my reasons for that was because of how well he did versus Rakic, that being a bigger, rangier opponent. But, Reyes is still that size, so he's still able to have success against someone at that size. He also did good in the first round versus Costa. But I'm going to be honest. Paulo Costa at 205 looks like a different beast. He looks really, really good. I think he would beat Dominic Reyes. And honestly, who knows what would happen in Reyes versus Rakic match, or Reyes versus Rakic fight. So I'm going to go with Mirzakhanov. I think he's going to get the KO. He still has power in his hands. He was 16-0, but then he had that one loss. But, hey, you go back, you work on your game, and I think he's going to beat Dominic Reyes. It's just funny seeing these two guys fighting each other after what they did in Miami. Arnold Allen versus Aaron Pico. What a banger matchup. And it's really cool to see Arnold Allen fight multiple times per year. It's going to be his third fight in about 10 months. Things we love to see. That being said, this is a tough fight to call. Because if you want to look at it on a skill level, Aaron Pico should win this fight. He is the more skilled fighter. But that really doesn't mean anything. And we all know Arnold Allen has some power in his hands, and Pico has zero chin. I think Pico's path to victory will be from the first second he needs to establish his range and dictate the flow of the fight. That's the only way that he's going to be able to win this. He will have to cook him for 3 rounds straight. I don't think he's going to knock out Arnold Allen. He would have to win by decision after 3 rounds. But from the first moment that bell rings of the first round, he's going to have to inflict his style, his flow, his pace into the fight. But I'm going to be honest here. Arnold Allen loves to swing. He's down to bite down on that mouthpiece and swing. And I'm going to be honest. I think Arnold Allen is going to win this fight. Aaron Pico, he fought Lerone and got knocked out. And then he fought Patricio Pitbull. I don't really rate Patricio Pitbull. I never really rated him in the UFC. After the Yair fight, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. And then he beat Dan Ige. I'm like, I don't care. And then he got cooked by Aaron Pico. So Aaron Pico's best and only win is against Patricio Pitbull, who's like withered at this point. I'm going to be honest. I think this is a huge, huge step up. And I'm going to go with Arnold Allen with this one. Might be by KO. I'm not going to lie. I think I have Arnold Allen by KO. Now this fight. Okay, this is crazy. UFC, update your website. Because what is this? Merab doesn't have the Georgia tat on his chest. This guy was a champ with three title defenses in 1 year. Been around the UFC forever. Doesn't have the updated Georgian tat. Also, look at his nose. Look at how much better condition his nose is in this picture rather than what it looks like right now. Anyways, Peter Yan versus Merab 3. They fought twice, and in both fights, one of them wasn't 100%. You know, Peter Yan in the first fight had a broken hand. I don't remember if he broke it in the fight or before, but he couldn't use his right hand. He couldn't punch with it, and evidently he couldn't grapple with it either. So Merab had a pretty easy win. Now, in the second fight, Merab, like I just said, had 3 title defenses in a year and was going for his 4th. Now, I think this was not the move. This was not the move. Merab had done enough. I think he was literally doing this to go for Fighter of the Year. Either way, he should have won it anyway. But cutting weight 4 times in a row, I just don't think is ever the move. Because he fought in September, if I remember correctly. Let me see. I want to see when he fought last. I was wrong. He fought in October 4th against Corey Sandhagen. Okay, and then immediately, probably never even stopped training. Probably never even gained too much weight. Literally fought Peter Yan 2 months and 2 days later. He went and fought in October, cut down to 135 for that, and then probably went right back into a camp for Peter Yan to go for a 4th title defense when it was not necessary. The card didn't need it. He didn't need it. He needed rest. And then if you go back and he went and fought Umar in January, 5 months later fought Sean, and then 4 months later fought Corey Sandhagen. I mean, what the hell? That's a crazy run. That's all you needed. And then decided, you know what? Give me 2 months. I'm going to fight Peter Yan. You know, and Merab probably had some injuries too going into that fight. He cut weight on 2 months. 2 months with 0 break. You know, he didn't need to fight. And to do that against Peter Yan at the time, who was well rested and was ready to fight, had a good win streak, had a lot of confidence, it was never going to end good. That being said, Merab got cooked. He got cooked. Now, this fight is the end-all, be-all. This rivalry is going to come to an end in the 3rd fight. I'm leaning towards Merab in this fight. You know, when Merab was champ, he was becoming, what are the words I'm trying to think of? He was trying to become bigger. He was trying to become a star, and he became a star and became well more liked through his 3 title defenses, and even said, I wanted to strike with Peter Yan in that second fight, which he tried to do, and it didn't work. He got cooked. And then he tried to grapple, and at that point, it was just an accumulation of bad decisions and bad choices that led to that fight being bad for him. But he's now the #1 contender. He's no longer the champ. He needs to get his belt back. You know, he needs to prove that was just a fluke about what happened. He's better than Peter. He beat him the first time. He needs to beat him this 3rd time. He needs to win this fight. And I think he's going to go in there, grapple heavy. I mean, I think him and Aljo are currently working in the lab, straight freestyle wrestling. He's going to be ready to lay on him for 5 rounds to get his belt back. And this is a Merab who's had time off, who can recover, and I think he's going to be ready. Peter Yan also is coming off of back surgery. Just straight up back surgery. Now you got to fight Merab. Peter Yan, I don't even know if the back problem was the only thing affecting him throughout this time off. It could have been more as well. That being said, coming off surgery, Merab is just coming off rest and getting ready and just waiting. I'm going to lean towards Merab. I think he's going to be in that mode of, I need to get my belt back. I'm not going to be afraid to lay on him. Odds are dead even to pick him, 110-110. This is the main event. This is the fight I've been waiting for. This is the fight I want to see. This is going to be a crazy fight. And first of all, thank you, Volk. Let's give some thanks to Unk here. He's been calling out Movsar and saying, I want to fight Movsar for well over a year now, I think. And even after he whooped on Lopez twice, he still said, I want Movsar. I don't want Yair. I know that was a rumor for a minute. I don't want John Silva. I don't want Aljo. No, give me the real number one contender. Give me the real fight. And this, skill-wise, great fight. The way I look at this, I think this is a very similar fight to Ian Gary and Makhachev. That being, Volk is more like Ian Gary and Movsar is obviously more like Makhachev. Except Volk is way more skilled than Ian Gary, and Islam's better than Movsar. Now, like I just said with Merab, where he's going to be that number one contender, where he needs to get the belt. He needs to get his belt back. I think Movsar is going to be in that same mode. In his last fight against Lerone, he tried to strike because he was trying to prove to everyone that, hey, I am the number one contender. I'm going to try to knock him out. He didn't knock him out, but I'm going to try to make it entertaining so you can't deny me anymore. This time, he's actually fighting for the belt. That being said, I think he's going to try to do that against Volk, where he's going to go very, very wrestling heavy, and he's going to try and lay on him. Volkanovski is going to do Volk things, show off his IQ, his range, his flow, his IQ. I think I already said IQ. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm going to be honest. I agree with these odds right here. I'm 50-50. I really am 50-50. Because I think it can be a situation like we just saw with Ian Gary and Makhachev, where in my last video I said, I think Ian Gary actually fought better. All around fought better, but Makhachev won on MMA scoring. I think it'd be the same thing. Movsar is the best wrestler and the best grappler in the division. I think there is potential of him holding down Volk. And yeah, is he going to do a lot of damage on the ground to Volk? Probably not. But at the end of the day, he's holding him down, and that's how he could win. But on the other hand, I think Volk can just do Volk things and cook him. Like, I don't know how this fight's going to go. But because I think that Movsar is going to be in that mode of, I need to get the belt by any means necessary, honestly, I'm still 50-50. I really am. I mean, it's so easy to just say, oh, as long as Volk gets back to the feet, he's going to win. But yeah, he's going to get taken down, I think. But as long as he's able to get back to the feet, and more importantly, as we just saw, break out of any type of grip to be able to go back to striking, then yeah, he's going to win. But will he be able to do that? Will he be able to do that? I don't know. So right now, I'm not going to say who I have as a winner. I can't say that yet. I can't. This fight is too fire. This fight's too interesting for me right now, like 2 months away, to give a winner. What I will say right now is these odds are spot on, but I'm currently at 51% Evloev, 49% Volk. That's all I'm going to say about it. I don't know, but I'm super excited for this fight. I'm super excited for this card. And that about wraps it up for this prediction of UFC 333. UFC 331 will come out soon. I will get to work on that, but I wanted to make this one because this card is insane. And what the hell is going on with UFC 332? I mean, if you live in Salt Lake City and you love the UFC, are you at all concerned about... I got bangers to my left, bangers to my right. There's a few fights on UFC 332 that have been announced, but what's my main event? Are we really getting an interim title shot for our pay-per-view card? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But that being said, it's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. I appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video.